Steve. At this time, we're just gonna have some open mic time for anybody at all, any one of you to come up and share a story, a one-liner, a thought about our friend Victor. So we'll just take some time, and if you want to come up and have a seat if someone else is talking.
Hey everybody, my name's Onyx Dixon. I'd consider myself a best friend of Victor, and I always will. I was the person who wrote that speech that was quoted in Steve's little speech there. It's kind of funny how that actually came to be. I was crying my eyes out. I was trying to get a workout in, and I was stretching out, and I looked up, and I don't know why, but my weights started to walk around the ground, and they started spinning. And then all of a sudden, that entire speech came to my head fluently, better than I could describe it on paper. I instantly wrote it down, and then I just feel like that was less of a message from me, but from him, just to let everybody know that he did do this to inspire us, that this wasn't all in vain. He loved every one of us dearly. He never skipped a moment just to be there for you. He'll never, ever, still won't. He will always be with every single one of you in any hardship any of us feel again. And he just wanted us all to know that, I feel, that it'll be okay. And I just wanted to pass that on to everybody. He loves every one of you, and he'll never be forgotten, and you won't either. Just wanted to say that. Everybody have a great day.
Hi, I'm Sasha, and a couple years ago we did a roast for Victor. I don't know if you guys remember it, but it was fun. The other day I was looking through my notes, and I still had the notes from that roast, and I'm not gonna give the roast, but I was reading it and I was looking at all of these things that I had piled up to make fun of Victor, and I realized that none of them were really negative. They were positives, and so I would like to give you some of the positive spins I found in these notes. I can't read all of them, some of them are appropriate, but so this one is the first one, and so it was Halloween, and we were working together, and he went out to get his Halloween costume. He's gonna be a doctor. And he's like, I got it all. Like, he had the lab coat. He's like, don't I look great? Like, Sasha, I got everything. But he's like, I went to every single store, and I couldn't find a telescope. And I was like, why would you need a telescope? And he was just like, a doctor, it needs a telescope. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you know, the thing they wear around their neck and they listen to the heartbeat. And I was like, a stethoscope. And he's like, oh, okay, sorry. That's why all the people were looking at me like I was crazy. That, I thought about it, and I thought, Victor could always laugh at himself. He never took anything too seriously. He just, when he, approached the English language like he had just learned it, he could still laugh. And so we just laughed about that. It was just so funny. Okay, so again, with the English language, we all know how Victor liked to treat it. He came up to me and he was like, Sasha, I've got a new compliment for you. And I was like, what? And he was like, you look very succulent today. And I was like, don't say that. He's like, why? Why would you want to be called succulent? And I was just like, it's creepy. It's weird. Don't say that. And he's like, okay, I got another one. He's like, dapper. And I was like, that's not for women. And he was like, no, it's flattering. It means you look good. And I was like, Victor, don't use these things to compliment people. They're not compliments, not the way you think they are. And he approached the English language with such neutrality and curiosity. He just every word was just brand new to him, even though he'd been speaking it his entire life. Okay, so this one is, I once had to explain to him what catcalling was, and he was like, that sounds really nice, you just yell compliments at people, and I was like, no, it's not nice, girls don't like it, don't do that. He's like, no, I won't do it to girls, I'll do it to guys. And I was like, oh, okay. And he started, so you guys might have noticed, he was just yelling things at men on the streets. I really like your shorts. That's a really nice hat. Did you get a new haircut? I like it. He was a feminist at heart. He believed in equality. You know, I look at all of these things about Victor, and I felt like I was always teaching him things. But, you know, I think that we can all attest that Victor was our teacher. He taught us about friendship, he taught us about loyalty, he taught us about squeezing every amount of good out of life, even when it was hard. And that's a testament to the people who raised him. To Victor's parents, Victor was our teacher, and he was a gift. And I just want to thank you both for sharing him with us. Thanks.
My name's Jake. I lived with Victor for 3.5 years. He was my best friend. Our friendship was one that was originally born out of necessity because I needed someone to live with me and he needed somewhere to live. And we didn't have a ton in common and we didn't know each other that well. We just worked together. And little did I know that when we moved into that place on 6th Avenue that, you know, I would find a brother, you know. I loved Victor and he loved everybody. He loved life so deeply. I used to equate him to Mowgli from the Jungle Book, the way that he could disarm people and find positives in every situation and come out looking positive in a situation. Sometimes I would look bad. I'm like, what? Anyways, I don't know, some people here may have had the pleasure of coming to our house on 6th Avenue a time or two. And Victor always used to say, if these walls could talk, and we would always say, there would just be a lot of laughter, but now I just think if they could talk, they would talk about two dudes that loved each other and always looked out for each other and never gave up on each other. And anyone that knows me knows that about 4 years ago, I went through a really bad breakup, and it was hard for me. And if it wasn't for Victor getting me off the couch and getting me to do stuff and being there for me, I wouldn't be up here talking to you right now. And I love you, and I miss you. And I love you, Victor.
Well, we're all here to celebrate Victor's life and look across this park and everyone here and all the common things. There's groups from different cities. We're from Prince George. Bless you, Vazquez. You know, we knew Victor when he was young, growing up in our school at Westside. We so many. You guys are right. I mean, he's the guy that brought things together. And he came to our school and he came to our community with all of us. And my son Christopher was close friends with Steve and a whole bunch of the guys, and they did crazy stuff together. These guys. And we're telling stories. So one of the best stories that I can tell is, it's a couple. One is we used to do a big family camp, and so there's like 400 or 500 people. So Victor says, "Hey, I can do crepes. My mom can do crepes. We can do crepes for everyone." And we're like, "Oh, okay. Well, that would be awesome. Like, we'll all have some crepes." So he got there in the kitchen and he was busy mixing up his batter and getting things ready. Well, if you know about crepes, they take a little bit of time, like to actually make them, like to get. And we had 300 people all lined up, ready to go. And I said, "Well, how can you go these things any faster?" He's like, "No, this is how I learn. I can only do this many." I'm like, "Oh well, I don't know. It's going to take us 5 hours to do
kitchen here? Like, so anyway, we went to do pancakes, and then he tells me after, oh, well, I could have done them the night before. Okay, well, that would have been helpful. The other funny story is, and I love you guys with the Vazquez, so hopefully I can indulge you a little bit, but we were going to go to Creation Fest. So Creation Fest is a huge group of Christian bands, and it's in the Gorge in the United States and by Moses Lake. So the Dohertys are there, and we were there, and there's a bunch of us, and we're going to take our families. They have 5 girls, and we had four kids ourselves, and 2 of my boys and 2 girls, and all of a sudden we're ready to go, and you guys showed up, and Mom says, oh, Victor's coming with you. He is? We're like, we're going to the States. Yeah, he's coming here. So he jumped in the back, he jumped with the Dohertys, and we're driving along, and we're trying to figure this out. So I said, well, he can't stay with the Dohertys, there's too many girls, and my boys. So I said, well, why don't we get a hotel? But our hotel was full, so I had to put him in another hotel. Those 3 boys, Victor and Steve, and my son Christopher, now those 2 together are orangutans. And my other oldest son, he's not really a fan of that. So I came by to pick him up in the morning, and I said, how did it go? And he goes, Dad, they were jumping from bed to bed to bed to bed. It was just crazy. You got to tell them to settle down. I think they're going to get kicked out of the hotel. I was like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, they had fun. But in that band, and this is what I want to say, in that band there's a group called Newsboys. And they have a song, and they talk about wherever they go, that's where the party's on. And they were talking about it's kind of a spiritual thing and a fun thing. And that's what I see with Victor. Wherever Victor went, that's where the party's on. You know, it's kind of everyone's together, and then Victor shows up, and it becomes a party. And so right now, Victor, have a party, and we're all celebrating your life, and we love you. Amen.